You guys can hear me, please. I see Chris, Maureen, Bemisola, and Hadassah. Yeah, I believe I could add. Okay, cool. All right, and I hope we're doing all right. Maureen, talk to us. Wouldn't your network was not allowing you join the class, or were you not in a good place for to get take the class?
No, that was not it. My battery was 6% at the time I joined the class, and I was hoping it was going to be they were going to bring light or something, but they didn't till towards the end of the class. So I just didn't join.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Bemisola, how are you and your champions doing? Bemisola, are you able to speak? Hadassah, how are you doing today? Yes, hear you.
Fine. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Yes, sir. I'm
I
fine.
hope
Thank you, sir.
I hope all is well with you.
All is well, sir.
All right. Okay, Bemisola says she's fine as well. All right, awesome. Chris, how are you doing today, sir? Sir Chris. Okay. Chris is off the call, I guess. He's having some connectivity issues as well. All right, so like I said yesterday, today we're going to wrap up everything Excel. So we just see some of the other features or things that we can do with Excel beyond what we have covered so far. I see some of your submissions already. I am going to provide feedback to each one. All right. I will provide feedback to each one. I have not gotten to my house right now, so I'm taking this call somewhere else. I'm hoping that we could wrap up the class in good time so that I can also go home and rest. There's a very busy week ahead. All right. So, so far, let me just do a recap. Just by way of recap, I think this board is still okay. Okay, this is from our second sessions and stuff. Now, when we had introduced data analysis, we talked about the various principles or the principles of data analysis, which are the various steps or procedures that you embark on or you take when you are trying to analyze the data. We are in training to become data analysts, and we will be very effective, very influential data analysts in our various spaces. All right, that is um, that is the expectation and that is the trajectory. So I'm laying very good foundation that you guys can continue building upon even when our time together elapses or expires. All right. Even though, yeah, we can always stay in touch, be accessible to each other and all that. But I need you to understand that what we are doing is laying a very solid foundation to your data analysis journey. Okay. We talked about the very first thing is specification gathering. Specification gathering when you are trying to carry out an analysis, you are building. You first gather specifications. Specifications is the point where you carry out what in medicine could be diagnostics. So you ask a lot of questions. You ask a lot of questions to understand the objective of that particular ask or whatever that project is on, right? And after gathering all of the specifications, it gives you an idea on the kind of data that you're going to use to implement this project, all right, or to carry out that task. So once you have been able to ascertain that information, then you go ahead and develop your strategies to gather your data. Your data, remember, like I said, could be either your data could be either or your data could be okay, what's going on? A number of persons are off the call. Network connectivity issues, I guess. Network issues. Okay. Okay. All right. So data, your data source would either be primary or secondary data source. And I think I explained what the difference was or what they both represent. All right. So once you decide what your data source is, you're able to comfortably or confidently go ahead to retrieve your data. Once you retrieve data, the next thing you want to do is prepare your data. That is, I already have in mind, I've built a blueprint of what I want to report on in terms of the analysis I'm trying to create on that around that situation or problem. Then I go ahead and prepare the data in such a way that I am able to extract those details from the data. The process of data preparation or data cleaning, all right, like I had mentioned, is one of the most important processes in your data analysis journey. Once you understand how to clean, prepare your data, transform your data in a way that it is ready for use, then you can go ahead and carry out further analysis. The first kind of analysis you want to look at is, your exploratory analysis, which is trying to discover what kind of patterns that you can see in data. And you do this by visualization, all right? So you visualize your data using whatever the most appropriate visual tool that exists, the most appropriate visual tool that exists. And once you're able to visualize your data, it gives you, it draws patterns, right? It draws out the important patterns for you to be able to take very good note of. Then once you're able to do that, then you're able to generate insights from your data, right? Now my data says XYZ stuff. Now I can see that my data is giving me this information. My data is telling me this story. All right. What kind of stories your data telling? You're able to map those stories. Then overall, you wrap up with building your report. So your report could either be presenting that dashboard that we've talked about. So you place all your visuals on the dashboard using whatever tool that you are comfortable with or that is most appropriate for that particular task or that is in use in the organization where you work. For some organizations, they will choose the visualization tool that they are using. And I had mentioned that there are tons of visualization tools that exist, but industry-wide and standard, widely accepted tools, we have Tableau and Power BI. I said we can do some level of visualization with Excel, but we will see how to use other tools to carry out these visualizations. All right. Then, depending on the stakeholder that is interested in that report or in that analysis, then you know the kind of report to give. So you know how you present them, whether you're presenting them technically or you are trying to make them as bare and as simple as possible, depending on just to make sure that your stakeholder is able to make sense of the information you're trying to pass with your data. All right, with your data. So please, there's a summary of everything that you do in data analysis. And we introduced the first tool, which is Excel. And then we started with the basic formulas in Excel. We looked at some other ways or functionality that we can implement in Excel, such as the lookup functions. Um, there is the pivot tables that we can use to draw insights. We have saw the charts and the pivot charts. Then we're able to look at how we create a dashboard in Excel. All right, build your visuals, build your dashboard, and your dashboard communicates a message. You're able to tell from your dashboard what you can do. There are other aspects of Excel that we can also, I would urge each and every one of us to explore. All right. Other important functionalities such as index. I'm going to put it on the chart here. Index, merge, right? These ones are also very, very important in your Excel formulas. There are formulas in Excel that you can just explore. For every, just like every other Excel formula, there is an explanatory note beside the formula just to give you an understanding of what that formula does and how you can use that particular formula, the expectations and the expected outcomes when you follow all of those procedures. So using all of those tools is more like following a rule, all right? And when you follow the rule, you are able to arrive at a conclusion or at an expected outcome at the end of the day. So that's just in a nutshell what we've been able to cover. But however, I had told us that Excel is a very powerful tool, as at most recent data, we have over 1 billion, I repeat, 1 billion users of Excel worldwide, or currently over 1 billion users every month. Every month, at least 1 billion persons use Excel for one form of activity or the other, whatever their processes are. All right. So we as analysts, data analysts, we use this tool a whole lot. You'll find yourself in some organizations where you will work with Excel much more than you will work with any other analytical tool. All right. So the importance of mastering this Excel skill set cannot be overemphasized or cannot be overemphasized. So I won't say more than that. But however, the various limitations of Excel, I think I mentioned it during some of our early sessions, that Excel has a maximum number of rows that it can contain. And if you open up your Excel workbook, you can check to the very end of your. I'm going to open one that we used yesterday. Just give me a few seconds. Then let me share my screen now. Why? So if you take a look here, I just held down Control key and pressed the down arrow key. It will take you to the very last row that your Excel sheet can accommodate. Please, everyone, you can open an Excel sheet, Excel workbook, and try what I just tried. And then you will see here, what we have here is 1,048,576 rows. This is the maximum number of rows of data that your Excel sheet, a single Excel sheet, can contain. So if your data is more than that number, then you either have to split that data into several sheets, or you have to use other data management tools, other database management tools like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and the likes. All right. But this is the maximum number of rows. And if you click towards the column side, you will see a column ID called XFD. All right. The columns are in alphabet, but once you see it exhausts the Z, it starts with AB, AC. It continues until it gets to AZ. Where is it? It gets to AZ, then we have BA, BB, and all the way down to XFT. So it continues multiplying this, right? And this is the total number of columns that this can actually contain. All right, total number of columns that it can actually contain. And that is over 163,000, over 16,000, rather, over 16,000 columns, right? We have over 1 million rows and over 16,000 columns that Excel can contain. If you have data sets that is more than this, then Excel is not the tool that you're going to use eventually. However, I also want to mention that once your data is now getting bulk, all right, once your data is getting bulk, it slows down the speed of your Excel. So if I have a data set that contains 1 million records, you know that that file is going to be a large file, right? It's going to be a large Excel file, and it becomes, slower, and it can even drag to actually load. Talk more of using it to, implement certain models. So there are other tools or other functionalities that you can also use in Excel to make your work a bit easier. I'm just going to create a new worksheet here so that I use this here. I can just rename it Excel functionality. Let me just call it that. So here, one of the things I want to show us here is that we can load an external data directly here in Excel. So the way we have been loading our Excel data all the while is just go to the file and load it up. All right, or go to file, click open, locate the file and load it up. That is how we've been doing that all the while. But there may be external sources where your data resides, and I'll show you what I mean, that you can also call in Excel. Sometimes you may receive a data set in PDF. You can receive a data set in PDF, and you're wondering, why is this data in PDF? How am I going to use it in Excel to carry out my analysis? You can actually load up a data that is in PDF format into Excel, and it will understand that data in that way, and you can use it, manipulate it in whatever ways that you want. You want to go to your menu bar, click on data on your menu bar, right? Click on data on your menu bar. So from here, you're going to look at the right left hand side. That is the leftmost part of that menu. Leftmost part of that menu, you will see the leftmost part of that menu. You will see what is called Get Data. In here, there are all these are quick tooltips or quick sources where you can just easily click. When you hover on them, you will see what they mean. Here, you can get data from it if the format is in a text or CSV. CSV stands for comma separated value, right? Comma separated values, right? So you can have a document that is saved as a CSV, maybe in a notepad, right? You have all of these files and applications on your PC, a notepad or a Word document or whatever it is that is missing. So you can be a text, or in CSV format. You can just choose that format. You can load up a data from a picture, right? Maybe it was saved as a picture. You can load it up here from a picture. You can load up from, this is just more like if there are written sources that you've connected to, you can just see the list so you cannot quickly reference that. You can load data from a web. We're going to see how we do that today as well. You can load data from a web. Now, I'll just say this ahead, that it is not all websites that allow you to load data. Now, the principle of loading data from a web is called web scraping. Web scraping. Web scraping, I'll put it on the chart. That's the principle of loading data from the web, that is from the website. Web scraping. All right. Now, you must have heard, or you might have heard of the term web scraping. Basically, you're just trying to extract data that is residing in a web application or in a web resource somewhere. Say, for instance, I want to carry out sentiment analysis. So, sentiment analysis is a form of analysis where you analyze people's opinions about either a product or a movie or a thing or just a view generally, right? So you watch a movie and then you rate the movie. So you can rate the movie a 2-star, a 3-star, a 5-star, right? 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10, whatever the rating is. You can use comments to actually, pass your opinion. That is your sentiments about a subject. So I can just say, this movie is a waste of time. What kind of sentiment is that? That is a negative sentiment. It means that your rating on that movie is low. Your experience from that movie was not very palatable, right? So this movie is just a waste of time, and this movie is subpar. So all of those kinds of comments, they are known as negative sentiments. Or you say, oh, this movie is great. This movie is 10/10. This movie is awesome. This movie is recommended. I recommend it anytime, any day. Then we know these are positive sentiments about that. Apart from movies, you can talk about products, you can talk about services that you receive somewhere, right? So you say, I want to perform sentiment analysis. Now, these things happen. Just pay careful attention to what I'm saying. These things can be a task at work, right? I function at work as a business analyst, not as a data analyst. But as a result of my role as a business analyst, I carry out a lot of data analysis because it is also embedded inside what I do as a business analyst. Now, as a business analyst, I just want to look at customer or public opinion or perception of our brand, right? So I just go on Twitter and I can scrape tweets, scrape using the word scrape. That is to extract tweets. Everywhere our brand has been mentioned in a tweet, I can put in those queries and extract them. So, and then I carry out all of those analysis, even though this part is beyond data analysis, you're now heading towards machine learning, all right, doing sentiment analysis. You're heading towards machine learning, not data analysis this time, but they are all related. So I extract the data and I'm able to analyze them and I'm able to tell the business this is our overall outlook. Our overall outlook in the public as a brand, our branding, our brand image out there is very poor. All right, as far as our brand is concerned, or our brand visibility is very, very low. Not a lot of people know us, not a lot of people know about us and what we do. So we need to improve. And then you are now suggesting or proposing strategies to improve brand visibility of your brand, of that business, or of that organization, or of that product, or whatever it is. All of these insights, you got them from data, right? So people are tweeting, people are posting, people are liking pictures here and there, people are liking people's posts, tweeting, resharing, and all that. All of these things constitutes to data that you can gather and create very beautiful intelligence out of it at the end of the day. All right. So in Excel, you can get data from a web source. All right. Just take note of that. We'll come to that shortly. You can also get data from a table range. All right. This is more like in an Excel sheet. Right. So you create a table in there and say, okay, I want to extract just this section of this table, not everything in my data set, just this section of my data. All right. And then here on the quick tool here, you can also see that you can get data from an existing connection. Connection is if I've logged, if I have connected to a website to pull data from that website, right? I can easily that means I have established a connection to that that resource. So I can easily go back to that and pull data. Otherwise, click on this link here on this drop down on get data, and you will see all these options that are available for our use in Excel. You see tons of options. All right, they are being categorized in this way so that you can follow them. So if I have a data set that is in PDF and I am going to use a different source. I'm going to select a different source here. You know that you will most probably not extract that data. All right. So the format of the file, you can choose the format of the file. It helps Excel to understand the format ahead and loads of the necessary functions to extract the data from that particular resource that you are referring to, right? From that particular resource you're referring to. So let's say I want to extract data from a PDF, and then I just choose PDF here. I can easily, then it brings up a dialog box for me to select the PDF file, right? So I can go to wherever I have a PDF file. I'm just going to use any random file here. Right. Let me use this. And I just click on import. Now, for some documents that are properly formatted, you will get the data, while for some you may not get the data. So it also depends on the document that contains that data. So you wait for a bit, is establishing a connection with that particular file or folder that houses or holds that particular file that you're referencing. It takes some time. Now, depending on your system resource, if your system resource is high enough, it will also impact on the speed. This one does not require internet connectivity. At least I'm just loading a PDF file that exists in my PC. So it doesn't have anything to do with the internet. All it has to do is with the size of that file and the system resources of your PC, right? At the end of the day, so it can take a few seconds, but there is a next dialog box that is supposed to show up. That is what I want to talk about when it does that. So let's give it a few seconds and see what happens. But while it's doing that, we can just keep introducing more of these concepts. So you have all of these sources that you can generate data from. You can have all these other databases, all right? I'll show you more of them here. And then some of those databases, you have Azure, you have AWS, that's Amazon Web Services. There are different services out there, different resources, cloud resources, or even on-prem resources. That is databases that are not on the cloud that you can connect to and retrieve data from. All right. So wherever your data resides, sometimes your organization already has a data warehouse. All you need to do is just get the right credentials to plug into that resource. All right. To plug into that resource, and you're able to extract data from from that particular database that you are connecting to or you are connected to. Here, the window you see here is your navigator. All right, your navigator is supposed to display. Now, this file I am loading contains, I think, about 25 pages. All right, it's a 25-page file, right? So it is supposed to load up all aspects of the file. This is a PDF file, by the way. So if you check here, you will see it is giving you, it has structured everything inside that file. It placed some of them, or it is interpreting some of them to be tables. It is interpreting the rest of them to be pages. Now I said I have about, is it 25 pages or 26 pages? So you see each and every one of those pages here, right? So I can come in here, I can first of all check this box here for select multiple items so that I can select any of these pages here. And on the preview side, you will check to see if there is anything. So if it doesn't interpret the data in there as a table, you will not see anything here. All right, so let's see what it has interpreted as a table. Let me just check the box for table one, and then you'll see table one gives us what? It just gives us more like gibberish, not no specific information in there, right? I can check table three. I can look at table three and it looks like, yeah, there are there are certain columns in there and stuff, right? So depending on the type of data you're trying to load up, you will see them being displayed here. And I can just choose, okay, let me select only table three, and then I can come in here. You will see this button down here where you see either load or transform data, right? And then if I drop down, I can do load to just specify whether I want to load it to a different file altogether, or to a different sheet and all of that, right? But what I want to do next is to transform data. And this one is an important aspect I want to show you, where it loads up what is known as a Power Query. So it loads up what is known as a Power Query editor. All right, your Power Query editor is a tool in Excel that helps you to manage large Excel files. All right, so if you have a larger Excel file or external sources and all of that, you can use this to clean up what you want to see in your data set. So for instance, it has loaded that table, and I can see that there are a number of columns there that are completely unnecessary, all right, as far as I'm concerned, completely unnecessary. I can come in here and edit them. We're going to talk about Power Queries shortly, but I just want to introduce how it looks like. Once I'm able to clean up here, I can do a number of data preparation here, clean them up, change the format, rearrange them, I can pivot and unpivot tables here. I can do a number of transformations here on the Power Query and all that. And by the way, once we start off with our next lesson, we're supposed to start off with Power BI, right? So once we start off with Power BI, what I am showing you here will come in very handy when we start off with Power BI, because that's how you load a data in Power BI. It comes up with a Power Query editor, and then you're able to transform your data before you carry out your analysis. All right, so all those transformations, all those data cleaning processes that we had earlier in Excel, we can also use the Power Query editor to also carry out the same thing: change formats, clean data, check for duplicates, remove duplicates, and all of that. I'll touch on it briefly as well as we progress. Then once I am satisfied with the level or the state of the data, I can just go ahead here at the left corner of the Power Query editor, and you will see close and load. I can just click on that button there. Then it takes a few seconds, depending on the size of the data, to load the actual data on your table, so that, or on your worksheet, so that you can work with it. All right, you can just use that to proceed with other parts of your work. Right, you can move on from here to visualizations or power pivot tables and all of that, and then visualizations, and then building your dashboard. What you can see here is that it's telling you it's an external data, and it's actually fetching this data. All right, it's taking some time here to load up the data. Again, depending on the volume or the size of the documents or the data that you are loading on your system resource, that will determine the speed at which this would also load. So here it has gone ahead to load that. The data I loaded is an account opening form, right? It's an account opening form, and there are information in there of a customer who has filled out, certain details, right? The customer who has filled out certain details, and that is what that's what we see in here. So once your data is loaded, you can go ahead, like we have done before now with Excel, carry out your analysis, maybe by building pivot tables out of your data, then going ahead to build visualizations, and eventually finishing up with your report. All right, that is loading a data from PDF, from a PDF source. Loading a data from a PDF source. Now, let's say we want to load data from, like I said, you say from a database. Look at all available database here. Yeah, like I mentioned before, there are tons of database tools that exist. Oracle, IBM, in fact, even Microsoft Access is a database tool, right, by Microsoft. You can have an SQL server, that is the Microsoft SQL server, which is MS SQL. You can have MySQL server, right, which is a MySQL database, PostgreSQL, Sybase. There are too many database tools. These are the ones you have access to in Excel. So wherever your data warehouse is. So let's say, for instance, I have a MySQL database and I want to connect to it. Now, it gives me this information that I require a connector. So I can first establish that connection first before I proceed. With that. Okay. So if my data resides in a cloud repository, say Microsoft Azure, for instance, of course, Excel is a Microsoft tool. So all Microsoft data management tools can be visible and available here in Excel as well. So Microsoft Azure, or Azure, is a cloud database management tool that you can also use to extract data right here. Or if you know how to use the Power Platforms, right, you can extract data from Power BI, from workflows and all of that, and what Microsoft calls Dataverse. Dataverse is another database management tool if you're building Power Apps and Power Platforms. All right, if you're very conversant with these conversations there, you would understand how to use that. Or from online services. Online services such as the SharePoint list, and other forms of exchange. Dynamic 365. There are so many Microsoft tools where for data management and for different purposes, actually. So depending, and then, or if it's a CRM tool, CRM is customer relationship management tool, such as Salesforce. Salesforce is a CRM tool that that you can use. If you are using a CRM tool, you can also plug it here and extract data from that resource there, or generally from other sources, which gives you all of these options here. All right, or you can decide to do some kind of combined queries with existing sheets. All right, in here. But let's say we want to extract data a from a web resource, right? Um, right? From other sources, I can see from web the same thing that I have here on the shortcut here, that is outside here from web. I will just click on it. But my cursor is in here, so it simply means that any data I retrieve is going to load up here. So I want it on the new sheet, right? Let's do it on the new sheet here. Okay, yeah, I'm fine here. So that we can, let's see from the resource, from a web resource. Now, the first thing you add here is the URL, right? So let's say, for instance, maybe yahoo.com is my URL, right? Now, under the advanced, you see basic here and then you see advanced. Advanced is where you can add other credentials if you have them, all right? If you have them, add other credentials in there, but we're fine with basic for now. So it says yahoo.com, and then it's going to load. This one, you need an internet connection to carry out this particular one. You need an internet connection to carry out this one because, of course, you're surfing or trying to access the web. So it takes some time to um, send in requests to these websites that you have put in the URL. All right. So depending on the speed as well of that connection, you're able to get a faster result eventually. Now, it's not all websites that are open in this way. Some websites are, of course, data is money. All right. So people sell data online, they sell data. So if you encounter such sites where the data there is not free, if you try to bring in the URL here, what it will give you, it will open up a dialog box to enter a credential, which is more like your username and password, something like that, that you can access that data. It shows that you are a subscribed member. So if you pay for it, they give you those credentials, you're able to access those data there. So it brings up this dialog box again for us to make certain adjustments. We're also fine with where we are. We'll just say simply to connect, right? So it's trying to connect right now to yahoo.com. What I'm trying to do here, I want to extract maybe from Yahoo Finance, see if we can extract some stock market data. Just see if we can extract some stock market data from Yahoo Finance. Now, this is a way of sourcing for data. This is one way of sourcing for data. But you know that when you do this, you're getting or you're collecting raw data. So you have to do the transformation yourself. You have to clean them. You have to prepare them in such a way that is useful for your analysis. All right. You have to use them in such a way that is useful for your analysis. So it will also take some time again to connect. But once it is done connecting, you will see the various available data that you can plug in or retrieve from this particular URL that you have entered. All right. From this particular URL that you have entered. Again, not all websites would allow you to just retrieve data from their platform in this way. All right. So let's give it a few seconds and see. All right. So it loads up and then it comes up again, just like before with the PDF source. It comes up with a navigator. And from the navigator, it's going to open up our Power Query editor for us to either load the data or to transform the data further. All right. So the navigator is also trying to load up every possible table that exists in that URL. All right, that is what um, your navigator is supposed to display in here. So you're able to navigate, say, okay, this is what I want. Go ahead and extract this particular data. Here, it is trying to give you an opportunity to be specific, all right, to be as specific as you can with your request for data. So again, we'll give it a few seconds and see. Any questions so far? Please don't forget that you feel free to interrupt me at any point if you have any question. All right. So here it has loaded what it has identified as table 1 to table 7. So once we click on a particular table, it shows us what that table contains. Here in this table, this is weather report or weather forecast, right? And then it's showing you today's weather, tomorrow, next tomorrow, and Wednesday's data for the weather report, right? So it's giving you both the present and the projections for the next 3 days. This is a weather data. You can find that in Yahoo or in Yahoo. If you open yahoo.com, you also see the section for weather. Here, you're seeing the hints, right? You're seeing hints on what we call more like links of subcategory of news that they have published or publications that they have on the site as well. Right? Let's explore what table 5 has. Table 5 has a number of headers as well. All right, let me quickly share all of my screen so that when I'm changing the screens, you also still see. So I want to show you what the yahoo.com page looks like right now, so we can be comparing it with what we are seeing on those tables. All right, so here you can see the news that has been published here. All right, here is talking about the Trump. You can see some of the stories in here. Right, and all this other information because it's a news site, right? This is a news site, so all this information can come in very handy and necessary for different purposes. Okay, we've seen the weather aspect of it. Under more, yeah, I see weather here under the news, right? So what can we see here? This is my location right now, Lagos, Nigeria. This is the date and time. It's telling me that I have 82 degrees Fahrenheit in that's in terms of the data. But for us, what is most appropriate or what's most relatable is the degrees Celsius, so which is 28 degrees Celsius, telling me that the weather report for today is partly cloudy. And then you can also see the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and even all the way till the end. But what it has extracted for us on this table is from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, including the Sunday. Right? If I come back here to this data, right. So this is what we see here. So you can see partly cloudy with a cloud of 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Look at what we have seen here before, 82 degrees Fahrenheit and 28 degrees Celsius, which is 82 degrees Celsius, a degree Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Celsius. Of course, it changes between the seconds, between when we extracted this data now, that's the change. And then the lowest is 76 degrees. That is the lowest point of this prediction is 76 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius, right? These other two is just breaking down the Fahrenheit and the columns. So let's say I'm happy with this, I can just go ahead and load it. Or you go to transform first and then transform after transformation of your data, then you can go ahead and load that data, save and load data. Any question?
Can we load?
Yes,
Sir,
Maureen.
can we load more than one of these tables?
Yes, absolutely. You can. Right. So once you've loaded one, you can choose where you want the second one to load. So the beauty of your Power Query editor is that you can merge several tables together and load them up as one. All right. You can load more than one table at the same time. So here I've loaded this. I can go back again and through data, through web. Now, instead of me going back to start from beginning, or I want to do, it should already understand that there is an established connection here, which is what this is already talking about, right? There's an established connection here already. So I can come in here, choose this connection, and just open it. So it saves me the time. It saves me the time that I would use to go and reload that, but just carry out that same process. All right. If for any reason I want to reload that data set that I've loaded, I can just go back to establish connections and I'll be able to implement that. Is that taken? Is that
Yes,
taken,
sir.
Maureen? All right.
But you cannot yes, but you cannot upload like two at the same time. Like you click on two tables and then press load up.
Of of course you
It
can.
has to be
So you can. Right. Let's wait for this one to finish. Let's wait for this one to finish loading. Once it does that, you can select multiple tables, right? So you see, I have both of them here. So let me go back to that same point. It should be faster now because it has already established a connection between my PC and yahoo.com. All right, so it should be faster. The first time you open it can be slower, but subsequently it should be faster than when you're just opening it for the first time. I'm allowing it a few seconds to load up. Maureen, I've made you a co-host so that you can also just monitor um the room or the lobby for me in case anyone is at the lobby. So you can add them.
okay.
Right. So in here, I said, here I can check this box here for select multiple things. Okay. So let me even see what table one contains. Right. So I'm taking table one and I'm taking table seven. Right. Both of them. So I just go ahead and load. So what you see here, let's just wait for it. Still trying to load up. So it has loaded the table seven, which was what we saw earlier, which was on the weather forecast, weather report that we have on the site, right? Then it's trying to load up the second table. No. Okay, this is taking longer than usual. It's taking longer than usual. So again, most of your work would be to load up a single table, not a multiple table. All right. Well, yes, you can load up multiple tables at once. Right. Supposed to have a table here. Um, so my data loaded. Unfortunately, I can see. Right. So I'm going to just refresh. Let me see. All right. I'm going to proceed. Looks like it's telling me 13 rules added. Uh, okay. So yeah, I can. You can add more than one table at the same time. Okay, you can add more than one table at the same time, and they will all populate. So depending on where your data source is. So sometimes too, you can have a data set that is very large in Excel. Once you try to load it up, in fact, I had similar experience sometimes last month at work, and then I was going to carry out an analysis, and then when I loaded up this Excel file, my entire system will freeze. Now I have very large resource in my system, so it couldn't be a system resource issue. I used a 20 gig Core i7 13 generation what was it called 13 generation processor. Processor speed is almost 3.0 gigahertz. So I have a very large resource PC to actually accommodate larger files. But for some reason, this file, once it loads up and I try to write a formula inside, my entire system will just freeze until I restart it again and again. So over and over, it becomes very frustrating. But your Power Query editor comes in very handy to handle such large files. It helps you to extract what is meaningful. It helps you to also, manipulate that data in such a way that you're not going to have experience that kind of logs, right, that or lagging that you are experiencing um, with just loading your data normally in Excel. Okay, so I said I'll touch briefly on Power Query. I'll touch briefly on Power Query so that we would see because with the module we are entering, that is Power BI, we're going to see the usefulness or the actual usefulness of Power Query. We're going to see the actual usefulness of Power Query. So before I proceed, we'll do this with somebody's PC. So Marvel, are you on your PC? Let's work with you. Marvel,
Yes, sir, I'm here.
are you on your PC?
Yes, I am. But my network is not stable.
Okay. Marvel does not have a stable network. Baby Shola, do you have a stable network? Bemisola or Hadassah? Does any of you have a stable network?
I don't have a stable network.
Hadassah, did you say you have or you don't?
I don't. Right now, I don't,
Don't.
but I used to have.
Okay. Bemisola, how about you?
Okay, I think it's stable now.
Is it a bit stable now? Okay. All right. So Hadassah, okay, Bemisola, talk to us. Is yours stable?
Yes, I have a stable network.
All right. So I'm gonna allow you share your screen. So share your screen. I'm gonna work with yours out. Give us the exercise with yours. Then others would also follow suit. All right. So please share your screen. Bemisola.
So, what should I share? Is it the
Yes, the Excel file.
okay?
And I will need you to also share. Can you just share all screen? Is it possible? Because we'll go to the internet on your browser. Those.
Okay.
Now, sometimes ago, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I had asked us to ensure we create an account on kaggle.com. All right, we're going to go on Kaggle and extract data from there. Okay, I have asked us to create an account with kaggle.com. These are the environment for data enthusiasts, data analysts, data scientists, machine learning engineers. Is a public repository where you can extract data from. All right. So before we do anything here, we're just going to get the data first from Kaggle. Then we're going to load this data in Excel, and from there we'll carry out our transformation. All right, so open up your browser, open up your Kaggle. So you sign into your account. If you're here to create an account, please ensure you do so because I'll send you guys there a lot. So sign in. I mean, we can explore the data sets that exist here, but I want you to sign in your account. Have you registered? All right. So this is your page on Kaggle. Dismiss that notification down there. This is your account here on Kaggle. You can customize it, do whatever you want to do. You can also make contributions yourself. All right. You can extract data from whatever source, clean it up, and publish it here so that it can also be available for others to use. The data we are going to extract here was also dumped by other people, right? So people who have created data chains or data pipelines and are able to extract data, clean them, prepare them, and make them available for other people to use. So it comes in handy and all that. You can also participate in hackathons, right? In data hackathons here, right? Competitions, and these competitions are paid for, right? Very good, you can win very good fortunes here, several thousands of dollars for some of those competitions. You can participate as an individual, or you can also form a team to participate as a team, all right, and all that. So these are very important places where you want to explore. Kaggle is one. There are so many other platforms, Data Camp, Data IO, and all that. But Kaggle is the biggest. Sorry, can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
You guys- Okay,
Yes,
cool.
sir. Okay.
All right. I said search on the search bar, search for any cancer related data. So let's use a health data. So just type cancer data. Right, so you will see tons of options, right? No, so you pressed
No
enter. I
results
wanted to
found.
you pressed enter. Once you're typing, you will see every available data based on what you're searching. So you select one,
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay. Let me.
Yes. So just go back there, see if you want to type. So every kind of data you're looking for, whether it's stock market data or whatever kind of data. So scroll down, you will see all the options, everything around anything related to cancer data that exists in here. So just get that one that is just cancer data. That one up. Just go up a bit. Yep, here. Cool. Yes. Let's get that. So I'll also use this opportunity to show you guys how you can explore data sets. All right. Can you dismiss this? There's a notification down here where it says yes, cool. Dismiss it, cool. Now once you select a particular data set that you are interested in, these are the information you're going to see. Now, whenever you are also going to upload your own data or publish your own data sets, right, you are also supposed to provide these kinds of information, which serves as guides, all right, to anybody who wants to use that data. So scroll down, you see about the data set. Remember, I had mentioned to us that every data or every data set, they come with some level of description, data description, that describes what that data is, what you can use it for, what you expect to see. So in here, I will expect you to study and just quickly read through the basic information about this data. It gives you an idea on what this data can do or what this data contains. All right, what this data contains. You will see the main features. It's showing you, oh, I have these main features here, and all of those. Scroll down, let's see to the very end of those information there. Keep scrolling. Right. So you can see if you want to get more descriptions in there. Now, here you will see what is known as the exploratory part of the data. It provides a basic exploratory data exploratory analysis of this data that is giving you some basic visuals and summary of what your data contains. Scroll down again and see. Let's see those things. You will see some very beautiful things. Now, cool. So in here, for each attribute that is in that data, that is each column in that data set, it is giving you a basic description or distribution of that data. This one is telling you that there is a column called the ID, cancer ID, all right? And it contains how many records there? How many records there can you see? Scroll down, how many records there can you see? No. See those numbers beside it. 8,670, right? And then it's showing you that there are two types of, or two types of, or two classifications of diagnosis. Here, that is the next, I'm looking at the next column, right? We're still looking at details. You will see compact, you will see column, those tabs up there. But here, right, so here, look at the diagnosis. You either have B or M. B stands for benign and M stands for malignant. So a person can either, once the diagnosis test or outcome, right, the diagnosis outcome can come up with either one of these classifications. It is either benign or malignant, right? Telling you, oh, this person has cancer or this person does not have cancer. All right, depending on the cancer type, by the way, that we're even looking out for. If you look at the description up there, it should be able to tell you what type of cancer this data is actually speaking to, right? Then the next column there, you're looking at the mean, right? Or radius mean, texture mean, parameter mean, all of these other ones, they are not columns in themselves, but giving you some kind of statistical description of the kind of data that you are about to extract. Keep scrolling to the very end on your right, towards the right. Right. So it gives you all of these very basic information concerning your data, right? Click on column tab, on the column tab. Cool. So it picks on each column and gives you their description. Picks on each column, gives you their description, and then gives you some very basic statistical information as well. All right. I will run a very separate course on statistics for data analysts. Here you can understand some of those statistical measures and their interpretations. So when you see the measures of central tendency or measures of dispersion, right, that we all did in secondary schools or high schools and all of that, and there are various interpretations right here, okay, in your analysis project. Scroll down. Let's see, scroll down. You will see that there are 32 columns in this. That is, it has 32 attributes in this data set. So the same thing for the diagnosis, the same thing for the radius mean, and all of those, right? Look at the compacts. Check the compacts tab. Let's see what that contains. Again, all of these things are just descriptions, right? On the compact tab, it is giving you a sample of the data. It's giving you a sample of the data. And because of this number of columns, look at it there. Look at the top right there. You are seeing 10 of 32 columns. Can you see the Wimsola? You are seeing 10 of 32 columns. If you click on that drop down beside it, you will see whether you can extend it to even see more of those columns. So if I say select all, you're able to see all the other columns that also exist, and just hit apply. So it will extend the information to every other column that also exists in this particular data set. Now I will repeat that, you need to study a data description so that you will understand how you can apply them in your analysis. You need to know what all of these columns are speaking to. And thankfully, anytime anybody uploads or publishes a data set, they come with all of these descriptions so that you, the analyst, when you pick it up to carry out a certain project, you know what each column is speaking to. I am not a health expert, so I may not know what all of these things represent. But the description, when I read through the description, it gives me an understanding of what it contains and what I can do with it. All right. So this is just a summary. This is where I'm going to stop on what you can always do whenever you want to extract data on either Kaggle or other platforms. All right. There is another public repository called data.gov. I think it's an American site where you have especially health-related data or public data that you can use for some form of analysis. All right, all the samples, all your case studies or portfolio projects. These are the places where you can extract data from, or you can build your own data pipeline and get your data directly from source and clean them up, prepare them, transform them, and use them for your analysis. Okay, at the top, you would see what we are looking at is a tab called data card. There is a second tab there called code. Click on it. Code is giving you, you will see a lot of, now when we, hopefully we get to Python for data analysis, right? Hopefully we'll get to Python for data analysis, but you're going to see more of this kind of stuff, right? Where you write all of those codes. These are codes that have been written, right, based on this data set by different other contributors, right, by different contributors. They've used them for different purposes and all that, and they've made those codes available, right? So you can go there, you can reuse a code, you can reference somebody's code, or you can totally write your own code. That's fine. Then under discussions, you will see if there are conversations happening, comments that people are making, click on discussions. You will see any conversation that's happening. So far, there's just two in here, right? If somebody is making a comment, maybe in the process of analyzing using this data set, they encounter a challenge, they can come here and put in a comment so that it guides you when you're coming in here to use that particular data set. You're able to, understand how the kind of challenges people have faced using this data, or if you are the author of that data set, you're able to see the challenges people face using your data, and you're able to make quick adjustments or correction to it as well. All right, and then there's a suggestions tab where somebody can come in there and make recommendations or suggestions on how to improve that data set, just for the benefit of everyone there. All right, get back to the data card. Let's retrieve this data. Now, two ways we can retrieve this data. Look at the tab up there. Look at the button up there for download. Scroll up, right? See that button up there for download? Yeah. So if you click on that button, click on it first. Now it shows you this other information here. All right. So this information here, you see at the down towards the down part there, you see download data set as a zip. All right. Once you click on that, you can quickly, easily download that. Secondly, alternatively, you can download it by writing a code. Click on that same download button there, just stay on that window. You see that code in there? That is a Python code, by the way. So I can just copy that and run that on my PC, and is able to extract this particular data. Right? I am connecting via Kaggle Hub. So they've created a library, a Python library called Kaggle Hub, that allows you access to this entire repository here. And I can use that to that API, it's called an API. I can use that API to extract that data directly from my console. Right? I can write it on my console and it will get the same data here. Click on that drop down where you have download via. Click on that drop down, right? So click on the drop down. Download via, right? Click on that, cool. Now you can have this other option, either via the Kaggle Hub, which is what you saw down there, either the Kaggle CLI, which is a command line interface. Click on command line interface there. I mean, these are API connections that are also accessible for us to use. So in here, I can run this on my command prompt on my PC, right? I can load up command prompt and just take this there and run it, and it will also run. All right, I can do one or two installations first before it will allow me to run that on my command line interface. All right, but we've been able to download the dataset as a zip. I mean, any way that is more comfortable to you, feel free to do that. Scroll down, let's see something. Scroll down. I think there's another alternative where we can download the data sets down. Scroll down. Right here. Hold up. Scroll up. Right here. Cool. So look towards the right side where you have cancer data.csv. No, look inside. Come to the left side of the screen. Stay on there. Cool. So you see that arrow pointing down right towards the right side. Cool. That's the download button as well. Click on it. And it can go ahead and download the direct CSV. That zip folder contains other things apart from the data. All right. It may also just contain only the data, or it can contain other things apart from the data. Or look at cancer data, the CSV on your right side. Look at it on your right side under the Data Explorer. Cool. Click on that. There's a link. Yes, click on it. Have you clicked on it?
Yes, I clicked on it, but it's not popping up anything.
It's not popping up. Oh, okay. All right. And for some other data sets, that can also be a link. Once you click on it, it just triggers the download. All right, and it just downloads. That's what I expected to happen when you clicked on it. But already your data set has been downloaded, right? Click on your browser, that close to the address bar where you have that download button there. That button pointing down. That arrow pointing down. Yes. So you will see your data have already been downloaded. If you check your downloads folder, you will see it there. All right. If you check it out, no, we're not going to load it this way. We're going to load it from what is it called? We're going to load it from the data tab like we saw earlier. So open up your Excel now. Open up your Excel now. Right. This is the data is here. Right. So open up your Excel. Cool. So open a new Excel file. Let's work with a new Excel file. Let's Control N. Control N. Open that Excel file and Control N. Control N. Right. So it opens a new Excel workbook. Right. So go to data. Go to data. Go to data. Click on the data there. Right. So towards the left, so you have get data. Now, what's the file type of what we just downloaded? What's the file type?
CSV.
CSV. So we're going to look for what corresponds to a CSV here. So click on get data from file, and then you see CSV, click on CSV. So we'll go now and select that data from the downloads folder or wherever you have placed the file. Right, select it, and then you just wait for a bit. So what comes up is not going to load the data directly. It comes up here. This is your navigator, like we have seen earlier, right? Because this data just contains one sheet. If it contains multiple sheets, you will see the navigator bar displayed here for us to select whether it's just one sheet you want to load or we want to load everything. All right. And the next thing is either we load the data if we're fine with it, or we click on transform the data, but we want to click on transform data. So click on transform data, click on transform data. Now here is your Power Query window. We're just going to just take a few seconds here to talk about the Power Query window. So you see what you can do with the Power Query window. Like I said, our next module, Power BI, we're going to explore this in detail or in further detail when we deal with Power BI. But it's a good way to introduce it here to let us know that we can do this as well in Excel. Of course, you know that Power BI is also a Microsoft tool, so there are similarities and connections with all of these tools as they work hand in hand. So here, if you look at the menu there, looking similar to what you have in your Excel menu bar, but having other functionalities, okay? Some of the important functions there, you will see to remove columns there, right? You see remove column. Click on the drop down and remove columns. Click on the drop down. Now, you can remove selected columns, or you can select columns to leave and choose remove other columns. All right. So if I identify columns that I don't need in my data, I can remove them using these remove columns here. But I need to select them first. Your first column here is selected. Move out of that place. Your first column here is selected, where you have your ID, right? Maybe shall I come inside your window here, where you have your data window, right? Your first column is selected, that's why it is in green. Click on the column, the first row there is the column title or the column name, right? Sometimes you extract data and it doesn't have a column name, or it misinterpreted it. Your Power Query can misinterpret your column headers and place your headers as first rows. So if your headers are first rows, you can convert your first rows to become the headers. So it replaces the default column names. I'll give you more details when we get into that module. All right. So, but click on the column title, the next column title. So you see, once you select a column, it highlights that column in green. All right, shows you that that column is selected. We can select multiple columns. So hold down your control key and click on the next two column headers. Hold your control key, click on the next two column headers. So it helps you to select multiple rows or multiple columns rather at the same time. Okay, now not all of the rows that you have in your data is showing right now, right? You just have a sample of it being displayed here. because what your major focus is on the columns. Once you align on the columns, the rows are just entries, but the columns are the attributes themselves that you need to properly format or transform and all of that. Okay, so the next thing I want you to see is look at the right side where you have query settings. Look at towards the right side where you have query settings. Right, you see the properties. It's telling you first the name of this data set that you have extracted is called what? Cancer data. That is the name of this data set. That is the name you're going to see when you load the data eventually. Second, below that, you see applied steps. Applied steps here keeps a track record, more like a log of every change that you are applying to this data. It keeps a log of every change you're applying to this data. So in case I made an error, you're not going to be doing, there's no control Z or control Z here in your Power Query editor. You can go back to a previous applied step. All right. So click on, let's do something so that you see every step we apply, any change you make to this data set, you're going to see the steps recording or populating themselves there or keeping a log of themselves there. So one thing I want us to do, let's go inside your data, the data window. Right. Let's focus on the first column. I'll use the first column as my example. Click on the first column. Select the first column. Awesome. Now on this first column, look towards the left side, right? You will see the name first of that column, the column name there. Column name there is ID. Yeah? No, stay within the data window. Yeah, column name there is ID. Cool. Then the next thing beside it, you see that 1, 2, 3 beside it. That 1, 2, 3 is giving you the data type. Data type. So it's telling you that is a number, that is a numeric data type. Click on that 1, 2, 3. Click on that 1, 2, 3. Now, what that tells you is that is automatically reading this column as a numerical data type. So it means that we can perform mathematical calculations on it. But these are IDs. We know that they are not for mathematical calculations. So despite the fact that they are numbers, but we don't want to treat them as numbers. So we're going to change that data type. Click on that 1, 2, 3. Click on it. Right. So it brings up all the possible data types that we can change this to. All right, so we can change this. I want us to change it to text. So see text down there. You'll see that as ABC. So click on it. Right. Yes, replace. Cool. Now it has converted what was a numerical data type to a text data type, or what we know as a string data type, or a string. All right, or a string. Now let's do the same for scroll to the right. Let's see other columns in there. Now, all these ones are numbers because you see they are either mean, radius, area, and all of this stuff, right? All of these ones should be in numbers. They should be in numbers. Right, scroll, keep scrolling to the right. Okay, that's the end. Right, that's the end. So I think there's supposed to be a column for the classification, whether it is benign. Okay, that's at the beginning. Yeah, go there. Right, that's the diagnosis, whether it is benign or malignant. So let's say, for instance, now take note of what we are doing now. I'm going to change this data type to something else and observe the applied steps on the right, okay? So just change that data type. Click on that data type there on diagnosis. Click on the data type. Click on the data type. Yes, right. Let's just play around with it. So change it to binary. Just put it as binary. Let's play around with it. Right, replace. Okay, something is happening. Sorry. So do something, right? Come back to your apply steps and take on that change type. Come to your apply step. Now we know that we've made a mistake. Something is not wrong there. See that X beside it. Click on it. It will delete a step, and it means it will return you back to the previous step. All right. So even if I don't want to delete the step, I just want to go back to the previous step. I can just click on the previous step, and it will bring my data set back to that former state that it was. All right. But if I don't want that step at all, I can just delete it by clicking on that X beside it. Now, the next thing I want to do is instead of these M and B that we have, we want to replace them with malignant and benign. All right. So select that column, and then we're going to use a function to replace the item there, right? So go to transform on the menu bar there, click on transform, right? There's an action for replace. Yes, replace values. Click on it. And it brings up a dialog box. So what value are we to find? So type M. Yeah. So replace M with malignant. Right. Click on that advanced options. Let's see. We can just go ahead and click OK, but let's see what is there on the advanced options. Right. Match entire cell content. Right. Replace using special characters. If we choose any of those options, remember what we did with Excel. You Control H. That is find and replace. That we did with Excel. Something similar to that. That's what this is doing. So click on OK. Click on OK now. So all the M's are now malignant. So let's do the same thing for the benign.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, please. Adasa, go on.
Please, sir, can you do the replace again? I didn't get it.
Okay. Benign. Okay, we're doing it again. Benign. B-E-N-I-N-G. B-E-N-N-N-I-N-G. B-E-N-I-N. No, G-N, sorry. G-N. Right. Benign. All right. Click OK. Well, I'll come to your question now, Adasa. Right. So look at the apply steps. Did you see that there are a couple of steps that have been added? So everywhere you have B is now benign. Everywhere you have M is now malignant. All right. Similar to what we did yesterday with Excel, where we changed the M from in the marital status, M to married and S to single, and in the gender, F to female and M to male, something like that. So that's sorry, Gwemisola, click on that step called promoted headers. Just click on promoted headers. Right, click on it. Good. So we are now back to where we were. I want to repeat this process for Hadassah and any other person that didn't get it the first time. So Gwemisola, I want you to do the same thing we did. Right. First, we changed the data type of ID. Okay, that's fine. We've done that already. Now, replace the values. Where did we go to first? Where did we go to? From we're at home, then we went to transform. All right, Hadassah, take note. We went to transform, and then you see replace values. Right, so you click on it. Yes, insert a step. Right, and then yes, repeat it. Right, then do the same for benign. Right. So you would have observed that because we went backwards and then we're adding new steps to it, the previous steps that we added are still there, right? We only repeated them. So delete those other two steps in front of it. Just delete them. You're allowed to delete them, the X beside them. So just take them off. Yes, delete. Right. So this is where we're at. Hadassah, did you get it now?
Yes, I did.
All right. So now I can see your radius mean. Wemisola, what data type is your radius mean there? What data type is that?
It's showing as text, but it should be
Right. And I'm
numbers.
saying that every other one there is also showing as text, right? They're all showing as text. So change all those data types to numbers, right? And the type of numbers, there are two types of numbers. So click on that data type here. Click on the data type. There are two types of numbers. One is a decimal number, and the second one is a whole number. So please take note of these two forms of numbers. So one of them is a whole number. So for instance, your age cannot be a fraction. You cannot be 16.5 years old. You're either 16 years old or 17 years old, right? Or I can say the count of people in this class, right? In this class, there are 9 of us on this call. There cannot be 9.2 of us on the call. Do you understand? So in that way, we want to use a number that is a whole number. But say your salary, for instance, your salary is $10,857.99, right? $10,857.99. That is your salary. That one is in decimal, so you can choose decimal. So all our numbers there, they are all in decimal numbers. So use decimals to change that. So if your own, you guys are working on yours as well, if your own is also in that format, change them all to decimal. So I'll change everything there to decimal. Now, quickly, because you can see now that everything, if you are like we have 32 columns, you want to be doing them one after the other. That takes a lot of time. So what we'll do is we'll select everything. So select the next column, select it. Now scroll to the end. No, don't be picking the one. That's also laborious, right? Just select one of those columns. Select one of those columns, right? Okay, you're fine that way. Don't worry. Scroll to the end.
Sorry, excuse me, Stanley.
Yes, please.
Sorry, please, I have a question.
Yes.
When I changed
Sorry.
mine to
Hold on, Toyin. Before your question, let me before so that sorry, Gwemisola, hold on. I don't want you to do laborious work. I want to show you guys how you can be more effective and faster when you're working. Yeah. So select just that parameter main column. Select it. Now scroll to the very end. Scroll to the very end towards the right. Yes. To the last column. Go to the very last. Now hold your shift key. This time around, not control key. Hold the shift key and click on that. Select the last column. Shift key. Select the last column. No, that one is an empty column. It's fine. It's okay. Just leave it that way. So right there, shift key. You can also do it from the back to the front. It's the same thing. Right, shift and then click on that. Now you selected everything at once. Yeah. So on that transform, did you see where you have data type text? So you can just drop it down and then just decimal number. So it will affect everything you have selected at once. So instead of doing them one after the other. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, Toyin, I'm with you now.
so the two things. Okay, please, we're going to repeat what we just did now. But before that, when I changed the radius mean to decimal number, it was not in decimal. It was whole number on my system.
When you change decimal mean, okay.
No, decimal number. I changed it to that radius mean.
Radius
That's
mean, you
after
change
the
it to what?
diagnosis. I
What did
changed
you
it
change it to?
to what?
What did you change it to? What did you change it to?
I changed it to decimal number, but it was still whole number.
So,
But on it was showing
Demisola,
1.2
click on your own data type there. Let's see.
for the radius
No,
mean.
no, 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 no. On radius mean. Right here on the column. Yes, on the column for radius mean. Scroll to the left. Right. Click on your data type there. Yes, click on the data type. Okay. You said you selected decimal number.
Yes,
And what happened?
it was on all. The result was whole number. It was not in decimal places.
And it's
And
showing you
before that,
1.2.
no, it's showing 1.2, but the
Okay, so
result is
but
not.
before that, what happened? Before that, yes.
Before that, it was in, I think, text ABC, but that text was in decimal places.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Bemisola. Toyin, please show your screen.
I'm looking for the Zoom. Okay. Wait, Zoom. Sorry. Oh, okay, yeah. So I should share now.
All right.
Can
So
you see
show
my
me what you
screen?
see. Yes, yes, I see your screen now.
Yeah, this is the radius mean and it's not in decimal and it was
Okay.
supposed to be.
So on your applied steps, yeah, on your applied steps, please can you go
Yeah.
back to promoted headers. Go back to promoted headers. On your applied steps.
I want to go back to the Excel.
No. Why are you going back to the I'm looking at your Power Query window.
No, this one is disturbing me. So I
Okay.
should go to,
Yes, click on promoted headers. All right. This is where we want to start from. So delete all those other steps that are in front of it. Delete all those steps.
everything that I've done
Yes,
before.
yes, delete them.
Others were okay, but okay. You said I should delete, so it's okay.
Just delete so that we'll be sure. Okay, so we're here, right? So from ABC on radius mean, right? Click on the data type there. Click on the data type. That's it. And you click on the data type beside radius mean. All right, select your decimal number now. Okay.
Can you see what I was saying?
Yeah. Okay. Delete that step. Go back to the apply step, delete that step. Let me see something. I wonder why. I wonder why that's happening. Okay, there may be something from when we loaded the data. All right. So let's reload. Go back to the source. Click on the source on that apply step. Click on the source. So this is what I want you to do. Close this Power Query window. Let's reload your data.
You should load
Close,
it again.
yes, close your Power Query window. Power Query window. Power Query
Yes, I'm
window.
trying
Close
to
the
go.
Power Query window.
Oh,
See it on
I
the right
can't.
side. See the X on the right side. Top right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Discard. 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 All right, go back and load it again. Let's see. So hold on. See then, is there? I see it there. Hold on. Just hold on. Can you hover on that? Just remove your mouse, bring your mouse back on top it again. Just hover on it. I want to see an information. Bring your mouse back to that file. Yeah, just wait there for a second. All right. Import.
What?
Import. All right, transform data. Change the ID to text.
Huh?
Change the
Sorry?
ID to text. Change the ID to text. Add new step. Just click on add new step. Next
Oh,
time when it pops up, just click on add new step. Yeah, it's okay.
let me delete it. Okay, then.
Okay. It's fine. It's there already.
Okay, I should. Okay, it's okay.
All right. Then go to the radius mean now. Let me see something. There's something wrong. Now try to change it to this small number. Change it to whole number. Let me see. Add
I
new
should
step.
do admin step. It's the same.
So click on promoted headers. Take the step back to promoted headers. No. There's a way it displayed earlier before we changed the data type of ID. All right. So there's something I'm observing that is messing up this record. Okay. I would love to reload it again. Okay. I would love to reload it again.
Okay.
So close it again. Let's reload it. Let's try it one more time.
I should import.
Yes, please. Yes. So hold up here first. Hold up. All right. Transform data. So I want you to observe something here first. All right. Did you see the numbers are in, did you see that the radius mean there is 1799
Yes,
as
also.
a whole number from
Yeah.
beginning? Yeah? Okay. Now first, go and change that data type for radius mean below. Just select the column, just click on that data type here. Cool. Click on decimal number. Let's see.
I should click on what?
Decimal number.
Okay.
Add new step. All
I've
right.
done that.
Okay, cool. That's fine. So change the ID to text. So I am hoping we downloaded the same data set anyways,
It was from the same website.
from the same source. Okay.
Yeah, the same source, the hypo.
It looks the same all through, but I'm surprised at these values that we're seeing in here. All right.
Hello, sir. I'm having the same challenge too.
Oh, okay. No, it's not a challenge. It's not a challenge. So what we are seeing here, yeah,
I'm having the same issue.
like it's not. So again, it's not even an issue. What we are seeing here is my bad. What we are seeing here is that it's giving you sample records. All right. So what we had seen earlier from Bemisola, right, is not the same what you are seeing here because it's giving you random samples of your data set. Like I told you before, it's not showing you all of your data. So it's giving you a sample. So the sample is selected here. It's different from the sample this other person is seeing. But this is what I want you to do. Click on that drop down beside that radius mean. Click on the drop down. Click on it. Right. So scroll all the way down to the end. Scroll all the way down to the end. So you will see that there are tons of information that is in here. All right. There are tons of information that is in here. So most probably what we are seeing on our screens will just differ. All right. But again, take it out. For now, the values are not very important. I think the procedures are more important for us right now than those values we're looking at. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We'll deal with the values later, but for now, the procedures are what we want to focus on mostly. All right, we'll deal with the values later. So twin, what we did next was to select all the columns and change the data type at once. So select the next column, that is that texture mean. We want to change them to decimal.
Okay. So I should select everything.
So select one of those columns first. Texture mean is what we want to select first. Only texture mean.
Oh,
Select
okay.
only texture mean. Right. Then scroll to the right all the way to the end. Just scroll. Don't
I should
select
just
any other
click.
thing. Just
Okay.
drag your scroll bar to the right. No, you are moving with your arrow key. That scroll bar down there, yeah? Cool.
So I
Right.
should go
So
back to the.
hold up here, hold up here, hold up here, hold up here. Hold your shift key, hold your shift key. You've already selected the last column there. So hold your shift key, and click on that column texture mean. Hold down your shift key, click on texture mean. Now you have selected all the columns. So go to that menu called transform. Go to the
Sorry,
menu
please,
called.
can you repeat it again? Because I missed it. That's I should just do so. I didn't get how I did it. So how should I do that again? Please, can you repeat it?
Click, okay, start again. Click on that texture main column. Just click on it. You have selected it, have you? Now scroll to the
Yeah.
last column. Use your scroll bar to the last column.
Okay.
The last column is what you have as that fractal dimension was. Hold down your shift key and click on it. Hold your shift key and click on it.
Shit.
Hold your shift key and click on that last column there.
Oh, I should click on it. Okay.
It has selected everything, right? So go to transform. Go to transform on the menu bar. Look at transform on the menu bar. Click on it. Now see where you have data type, right? See where you have data type. Just below the transform there, you see data type.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, click on it and select decimal number. Click, select decimal number. So it has changed all of them to decimal numbers, right? It has changed their data type to decimal numbers. All right. Again, we'll deal with the values later, while the values are not showing as decimal that they are supposed to show as decimals. All right, scroll back to the right. Again, we'll change M to malignant and B to benign. Do you remember how we did it?
Yes.
All right, do that. Awesome. So
Okay.
that's basically what we did. Thank you very much. You can stop sharing now. So that's basically what we did, all right, with all of those.
Sorry, are we going to do the decimal points later, right?
Like I said, the value, that one is very, very, very insignificant right now. What is
Okay.
important is all of the steps, right? That we
Sorry,
have.
my second question.
What's the second question?
Because like the ID, why did we change it to text? Because it's supposed to be a number.
So something that is a number is something you want to perform mathematical operations on. So you want to either sum, find an average, and all of that. But these are IDs, right?
Okay.
You are not performing any calculations on them. So they should not be as numbers. They should be as letters. Even though they are numeric characters, but they should be as letters, as text. Do you understand? Because we are not performing any
Okay.
mathematical operation on them.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
So the final thing before you close, don't stop sharing yet. So once we are done, we are satisfied with the state of our data, then go to your home tab. Go to the home tab. So this is also for everybody. So go to the home tab. That's the final thing we'll do. See your home tab at the menu bar there. No, not that home now. Right here on Power Query Editor is beside transform. Yes. So you see close and load. Click on close and load. Just click on it. That icon there. Just select close and load. Yes. Right. So once we are done transforming our data or cleaning our data, we've removed duplicates, we've removed, we've filled out missing values and all of those things. Then we just close and load. It loads up our data in this form. You are seeing this form because it is in a format of a table, right? Of an Excel table. All right. That is why you're seeing it in this format. It is the same thing with what you had before. Now, the beauty of using a Power Query to load your data set is that if for any reason you need to make any further transformation here, you can load up your Power Query again and carry out those transformations. All right. So right here, you can see under table design on the menu bar, you can see remove duplicates. So you see other functionalities that are available to you to use once you are using your Power Query editor to load, or you are using this other method to load your data in Excel. All right. Okay, I'm going to pause here. Thank you so much, Tony, for sharing. Screen, you can stop sharing now. You can stop sharing the screen. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So do we have any question? Do we have any question? Okay. So this is where we're going to end the class for today.
Hello,
Kyle, did you
sir.
want to say
Hello, sir.
something?
Please, sir.
Yes, please.
Please, I can't get that last step, sir.
What step is that?
That last step that
You loaded to load the file, eh?
show all those files, sir.
Yeah, the data itself. I said,
Yes,
ensure
yes,
you are
yes. I
on the,
can't get it, sir.
ensure you are on the, what's it called? Ensure you're on the home tab, right? You were on the transform tab before. Ensure you're on the home tab. So click on home. You on the left side, you will see close and load, right? On the left side, you will see close and load. So you click on that button, then it takes some seconds, depending on the size of the data, to load your data as a table, as an Excel table. Have you seen it? Kaede, have you seen it? Kaede is not responding to me. Okay, I want to assume you have seen it. Anyways, this is where we're going to stop for today. All right, so like I mentioned, our next module is going to be, we're starting with other visualization tools, industry standard tools, Power BI, and we're going to cover Power BI and Tableau together. All right. For those of us that are yet to turn in your dashboard, your Excel dashboard, please do that. I'll provide feedback to those who have submitted, or to everyone that submits. I'll provide your feedback, and then we can take it from there. But please, from next week, I'm going to urge us, it is not going to be a free class anymore. All right. Our free class have ended today. All right. Our free class have ended today. For those who are yet to, what's it called, make any commitment, I'm going to send you all private messages on so that we can talk about what you can pay. I'm going to make it as open and as plain as possible. All right. So what you can pay in terms of for this other training, this other fees of the training. You let me know what you can pay. I'll send you guys private messages. Like I said, it depends on your performance, right? Those who are very, very much, attentive, contributing, and all of this stuff. Of course, you're going to pay a lower rate than those who are very passive and all of that. All right. I like those who are contributing to the class. And in fact, I prefer the class to continue with if it is just 2 persons, but 2 persons are very active and they are, up and doing with their submission or contributing to the conversations and all that. That is my joy. We're going to extend what we have seen so far on Power Query when we start off with Power BI, because that is how we load data in Power BI. What we have just done now, that is how you load data in Power BI and you use them to build your visuals and all that. And from there, you publish and all that. Okay? I'll send you private messages on how you're going to proceed by next week. Again, don't be scared when I say payment. I'm asking you to pay 10 million and all of those stuff. I'm never asking you to pay the true words of the class. I need you now to make a very important financial commitment to your learning so far. And you let me know. I can give you a payment plan that you can follow. Again, nothing to elaborate. So don't be scared about when I mentioned payment. All right? Do we have any further comments, questions before we continue?
Sorry, Stanley.
Yes,
You
please.
talked about the assignment because I missed the 2 classes last week. So I don't know which assignment were you talking about, the visualization?
If
Because I've
you've
not
missed
listened.
if you have
Yes.
missed our classes, please go and watch our recordings.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right.
We have dropped all the recording links. Maureen, please help us do something. Yeah, from the first class till today's class, put like it in a Word document or in a Google Doc, right? So maybe you label them class 1, you put a link for it, class 2, put the link for it, class 3, put the link for it, so that we're going to drop it on the description of
With
these
the dates, if
WhatsApp group,
possible.
right?
With the dates.
So please help us curate all of those so that you guys can always reference the recordings that way.
With the dates, if possible, please.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now so that
Thank
once
you.
our record